Recently, the movement to legalize marijuana has been gaining a lot of momentum and attention. However, there are still a lot of misunderstandings and stigmas attached to marijuana and its users. So let's clear the air. Let's explore the reasons why so many people are in favor of legalization. To begin with, let's talk about medical marijuana, and specifically about Diane Dike. She has cryoglobulinemia vasculitis, which is a rare blood disease. It's painful and presents a host of complications.
My body's just totally attacking itself, and then my legs turn black. I'm about to amputate it. I had a miracle and they came back, but nothing in the medical community is helping me. I mean, there's no cure. There's nothing to be able to do except for just treat the symptoms. My clavicle bone just snapped when I was reaching for a towel, and so things are not looking good.
She tried for years to find medicine and treatment that would help her condition, but nothing worked. There's no cure, but nothing she found even helped her symptoms, until her doctor prescribed her medical marijuana.
And finally, on the fourth try, it worked. And I felt a complete relief from my pain. I slept, and when I woke up, I had a better appetite.
Diane has since become an activist for marijuana legalization, and with good reason. Medical marijuana has few side effects compared to other drugs. Contrary to popular belief, it is hard to become dependent on. Its psychoactive ingredient THC's effects are only felt when heated, as in smoking and cooking, and its effects on judgment are not major. So, with little to no remotely harmful side effects, ingestion of medical marijuana in the form of oil or leaves helps patients by reducing inflammation, decreasing pain, relaxing muscles, reducing stress, and increasing appetite. Marijuana has even been shown to help cure cancer. Cash Hyde was a 2-year-old child who had a stage 4 brain tumor. He was dying, and his parents, in a last-ditch effort, gave him cannabis oil in his feeding tube without the doctors knowing. To their amazement, he got better. He went into remission, and he was eating and he was happy again. Marijuana's opportunities as a medicine, especially if research in the US is finally allowed, are promising, especially when compared to legal, FDA-approved, prescribable drugs that are nonetheless dangerous and addictive, like Xanax, Vicodin, morphine, and even Tylenol, which can easily poison children. And yet marijuana is still a Schedule I drug under federal law, which means it is considered dangerous and without medical benefits.
The U.S. government has a patent on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants and anti-inflammatories.
That's interesting. And looking at this chart, it seems like marijuana is downright tame compared to even legal drugs like alcohol and nicotine. This chart shows the therapeutic ratio, or the dosage that works over the dosage that kills, of several drugs. Marijuana is 1 over 20,000, but that is only because it is virtually impossible to overdose on marijuana. It is that non-toxic. So let's compare that to some of the other drugs on this list. Aspirin is 100 times more likely to kill you. Caffeine is 400 times more likely. Tobacco, 950 times more likely. Alcohol, 2,000 times more likely. And heroin, a drug that is supposedly just as dangerous as marijuana, up in Schedule I with it, is 3,300 times more likely to kill. We spoke to a marijuana user about his experience with the drug. His voice and his name have been changed to protect his identity.
Like many non-users, I was very unsupportive of it. I saw it as a gateway drug, a drug for dumb people, stoners, losers, no lives, but after I tried it, I realized that it wasn't that bad. I would just say my experience high on marijuana is that it just makes you relaxed and chill, and you laugh here, you can chill with friends, and normally you stay put. And even if you do go out, you're in total control of what you're doing. There is no hangover, there's no not remembering what you're doing the next day.
And yet, for so harmless a crime, John Doe could be arrested.
For cannabis alone, more than 88% of arrests were for simple possession. This means a lot of inmates in county and city jails, which are in many places, as we've talked about, already overflowing.
Not only are many people arrested for marijuana use, but some have unwarranted punishments put upon them because of it. Federal aid can be suspended for marijuana use. And some people, like Jeff Mizanski, serve huge prison terms. Mizanski is serving a life sentence without the chance of parole.
Our kids are being destroyed by hard drugs, cocaine, heroin, drink. That's what's hurting our kids.
Something has to change. And while many states have passed laws legalizing marijuana, they are still under the jurisdiction of the federal government, which means something has to change on the national level.
From what their statistics are saying, is crime rate is going down or has gone down. It didn't go up. Arrests have gone down. Drunk driving's gone down. I mean, that's just what I've read.
So marijuana legalization doesn't have to have bad effects. Crime rates are down in Colorado, and Americans understand this. More than ever, people support marijuana legalization. People are coming to the realization that a marijuana user doesn't have to look like this. They can look like this. They can look like this. They can look like this and this. And our representatives and senators are realizing this too.
DC doesn't ask you to support marijuana. DC asks only that the Congress respect our local marijuana initiative.
Marijuana legislation passed in Oregon by a greater margin than it did in Washington and Colorado. It got more votes than our United States Senator Jeff Merkley, who was overwhelmingly reelected.
It will take work and understanding, but people will come to realize that marijuana is not a gateway drug. It's something to be embraced, if not for everyone personally, then for those who do want it, and especially for those who do need it. It can be done, as Diane Dike herself says.
And we live in America, and we should have the right to choose. We should have the freedom to make the right medical choice for ourselves.